Good evening. It is I, Herbert Erpaderp. That's who it is. I'm going to continue working on this. A weird babby tiger.
Stop trying to do accents, Herbert.
No. Yet. I am going to put the radiator bits in. Because why not? We need sea sprues. Or sprue. Nope, sprues plural is correct. And we were supposed to do this a bit at a time alongside the wheels, but, you know, I'm a rebel. Doing as the instructions tell me is for dum-dums or something. Okay, so we got that. We're also going to want part number 16, which is very small and potentially easily to lose, which I almost did. Fortunately, it landed on the... it flew away from me. Just can't have sprues anywhere without some sort of a sprue avalanche. And a tiny little bit. Maybe I'll hold it this time. If I can. Yes. And we also want these. Don't know if it's even really worth trying to remove the knobbin off these bits. It's pretty small and it is an internal bit. I'm gonna do it anyway. With my nice fresh blade, it should be easy. Good enough. Stick to my finger, you shit. Yeah. And now, the trick is to not brush them away. Who would do such a thing? Certainly not me. Okay. I think I understand how this works. Though I don't quite understand the point of the thin vertical bit. I'm sure it's perfectly logical and sensible. Bring forth this device. Which, for whatever reason, has to be right in front of the microphone. Otherwise it won't capture images I want it to capture, I guess. I'm guessing that sits up against that. With that little bit along the bottom as a guide. Doesn't really work as intended, I think. Because I've got this wall up against it. God damn it. Why does everything have to be so difficult? That looks like it should fit. However, it doesn't. Hooray! Will putting a whole bunch of glue there help in any way? Or do I simply enlarge that bit of mount? I'm going to enlarge the mount. Which will possibly make for an ill fit with other parts. That's okay, they're internal parts and probably won't be visible at all once the model is together. I think that is the spot where that goes. That's gonna fit. Probably, hopefully. Gonna make it fit. Just put extra glue there. Just so that it stays there. Of course. And we'll repeat that step. That ought to hold the little SOB. This one seems to want to fit even less. But glue, plastic cement being a debonder as well as bonder, melter, allows that to come undone a bit. And we move the wall forward a tiny bit, and hopefully that's correct. Because if it isn't, boy howdy. Okay, that looks like it goes there. Okay, these are particular to each side, I think. Or are they? Hello, Herbert. I had plastic crews, Erpaderp. That's not my name, and you know it. I don't add any crews. It seems a bit redundant putting this whole part in here, and then covering it with another, more different part. And then we have these two thin bits, which I just don't know about. It doesn't actually show me where they're supposed to go. Like, I'm assuming they're meant to sit in this little rectangular bit. Like there. Except not fallen over. But I haven't clipped it out yet. There is another bit that's meant to go over the top, which I think will render those little bits redundant. C sprue for the fiddly bits and D for other bits. 38 and 39. They look very similar to each other, but I will try to keep them separated. Hey, hey, hey. Gotta keep them separated. Like that. And these are identical, so it's okay if I mix the paths up. Never mind me just causing another avalanche on my keyboard with sprues. Did you miss any photo etch fun? I don't think you've ever missed any photo etch fun. You haven't missed any photo etch either. Hey, Hobocron? Hobocron. I hope you're doing well. I hope the build turns out great as well. We are not up to photo etch, but you might be pleased to learn, Trekan, that there is a pair of vision device covers for the hull hatches. That might be fun. Oh. Slicing a bit too much there. When you do the photo etch, I will go under the shower. No problem hearing you cursing there. I would never curse. Okay, I might curse a little bit. But when I say no words, YouTube gets very sad.
What the fuck?
Exactly. Now YouTube's gonna get real sad. It'll probably give me the
Not suitable for all advertisers.
thing. Apparently it's okay if you don't swear too much and you don't swear immediately in a video or stream. I probably did swear as soon as I started though, so you know what? Heck it. It should make me attractive to companies that sell condoms. But it doesn't. They probably don't advertise on Twitch. I mean, YouTube. Or Twitch. I think all of those bits have got their tidying and are ready to face the glue god. Have I seen your kit-bashed Israeli M51 Sherman? I think I have. It's the one with the upside-down Jagdtiger gun? Or am I completely wrong? Okay, that goes like that. Can't tell if there's a particular way this is supposed to go on, but I think actually there is a particular way. So that lines up with the round doovers on the bottom. This is gonna be easy. Maybe. Aha, then I did see it. I enjoyed it. Excuse me. Get ready to praise the glue god. Extra gluing. Ah! You didn't need to press so hard on it, idiot. It was going to stay together. Man, Herbert Erpaderp's a ding-a-ling. When it's painted and you post it on Instagram, hopefully some river counters get annoyed. That would be a bonus. Hey Vlad Stans, how are you doing? Notice how this time I didn't push it and break it. Let me put this around, not on the ground, or cutting mat. Put it around this way. You can't see it on the overhead, but it is shaped such that it will adhere to that curve. That ought to stay like that. And if it doesn't, boy howdy, am I going to be very slightly bothered. Yeah. Why won't the glue just not evaporate? Something weather conditions? I'm having trouble telling the difference between these two parts because they look very much the same. But they're probably very slightly different. I also didn't clean them up. Glue problems? Have you eaten your sauerkraut? What if I lied and said I did eat my sauerkraut? Or have at some point in my life consumed sauerkraut? Is that enough? These can't be different because the keying would have to be different. Therefore, all of them would have to be different. That'd be silly. Guess they just wanted to have differently numbered parts. Fair enough, really. If you lie about sauerkraut, the angels of tasty sauerkraut become sad. Well, that sounds like a them problem, doesn't it? I'm not responsible for the emotions of others. We have two radiator boys ready to radiate. I'm assuming they'll just drop into here. No. Do they go behind here? Yes. Ugh. Excuse me, probably. Doesn't seem to be anything for them to sort of lock into, though. Except for that little nubbin on the edge. It doesn't seem to be a very strong king, but that's okay. Should be fine. I don't know if it should be as forward tilting as it seems to be, but that seems to be how it fits. So that's how it is. You're not going to see it from the side anyway when it's together. I really hope it's actually going to be visible through the grills. Looks a bit wonky. But that's that imprecise German construction for you. Boy, were they imprecise. Also, I've decided to omit these little thin bits because no one's gonna see them. Nice radiator. Keeps sauerkraut cool and fresh. Mm-hmm. It has no other purpose. Now, we're at that point in every man's life where he needs to add the spare track links to the front of his tiger hull. This is the appropriate music when you turn the page and get to the instruction that has photo etch. Okay. We need the C sprue. That is not the C sprue. This is the C sprue. It says to join these two bits of track link together. What if I don't want to? What if I want it to look like they've used a link or two? Time has come. It hasn't yet. It hasn't yet. It's on the next page. I was just looking in advance. I've seen it on some pics on Instagram. Perhaps these kits are intended to not glue the upper hull on place. Yeah, that would make sense. But there isn't like an engine. There's only a radiator section. So, like, that just seems silly to me. Unless there is an engine and I've missed it somewhere. It would actually be kind of neat if you could model it with the grills over the radiator section open. But I don't believe that's an option. I mean, you could do it if you wanted to put in a lot of work. I do not. Someone has stolen the engine. The British. Curse those British. How bloody dare they? It looks to me like this goes... Maybe if I hold it closer to my face, it'll make more sense. Ha 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 ha. Maybe it just meant to, like, sit like that. It would be nice if it would just show, like, a front. Like, it shows that front on, where you're meant to cut the parts away, but it doesn't show you the final result and how that's meant to look. I think it goes like this. Parts need to be cleaned up before being added. Probably makes sense. Think that looks fine and dandy. Ready to be glued. Angry German man who tells stories about sauerkraut is annoyed about the British. Who else could have done it? They have a tiger in Bovington which is driving still. Do you think spare parts for the original engine fall from the sky? No. The British steal them. Yeah. Well, that's what happens. The British steal everything. Have a look at their museum. I think that part just disappeared. No, it fell onto my lap. I just noticed there's a fair bit of flash on the inside of the U shape there, which looks bad. Hell yeah. Sometimes I think I should not tell such things. This is the internet and there's always a chance someone believes what I say. You mean you weren't telling the truth? On the internet? You were making things up? Boy. Now, do I kajigger this on and then slot the links in? Or do I glue this to the links? I think I'll kajigger the thing on first. And then try to get the links. Or maybe I glue the links on. Excuse me. Or even better, I just kind of hold them in place. While I try to force this over the thing. Yeah. Don't know if it's meant to sit that low. Very seldom, but yes, I do. Ah, look, there's a picture of the front that gives me an idea of how it should go. And it's not how I did it. Also, I just noticed a bit where I didn't clean that up properly. Actually, you don't even need that there. Looks like it's a bit too short, so it's flexing the outer bits of those outward a bit, if that makes sense. Okay, if I add glue to them and then try to press them in a bit, nothing could possibly go wrong. Actually, it worked. It looks a lot more better. You are meant to put the other bit with 2 more links in, but I figured that would look fine. And it's like they've used a couple. That's what I'll tell people, and they'll get all angry that I didn't follow the instructions to the letter. Okay, that is step 6 completed. We've already done step 7. Now we're up to step 8, which involves hatches. And that's about it. And the hull into which we put the hatches. Let me just get distracted looking at pages on the internet and trying to figure out why they aren't loading. Oh, fine, Mr. Erpaderp knows better than the instructions. Hatches, will Herbert model them open or closed? Stay tuned to find out. What could the answer possibly be? You will not be shocked. I'm going to model the hatches closed. At least on these front hatches. I might model because there is some internal turret detail. I may model those open. You know what's really disappointing? You can barely see through those vents. Maybe this is one where you... Excuse me. Where you leave the top not glued down. Which is kind of weird because if that was the intention, surely some more internal details should be included, like in these areas and the engine. Does fit pretty good. How about that gap along the back there? So you could, well... yeah, you could. Assuming there's nothing that will bond all of these bits together. And we've got to remember there's also these bits of photo etch that go over the vents. Herbert models a hatch open? Gasp! Please order an ambulance in Germany at once. How see-through are these? Pretty see-through. Do they go on the outside? Looks like they go on the outside. The thing I'm wondering... Actually, the internal parts would be painted like a red primer, wouldn't they? That might be more visible once they're... Well, I guess not really, because that's a lighter color than the primer. Maybe it's just too small a scale to realistically see through there. And I should just put it all together and not worry about the insides. It is a dilemma. I could just omit those, but even then, you don't get to see those nice looking fans. I am actually now considering doing some plastic surgery on it to have one of them up. It's probably not really worth it. Well, it's not my fault. I didn't design the kit this way. It was those crafty Vespid people. Distractible Herbert getting distracted once again. To the surprise of everybody. I never saw you making a fault or mistake on stream. If you would, you should have a mistake counter. Sure don't have one of those. And it's definitely not up into the 40s. Instead of sitting here pondering, should actually do something. But what? A sick flip? I need the F sprue. F2 is on that side. And F1 is a racing hatch. Meow. Jeez, Herbert, you're a fucking child. There is an internal bit if you do want to model them open, but I don't, so I'll omit that. I've got vision devices on the sea sprue. Oh, heck. Why am I tired? Should there be more than one of these sprues? Yes. I don't think it's a racing hatch, maybe a flying saucer hatch. But like F1, like Formula One cars. That's what they are, isn't it? They're just little hatches. I don't think these need much cleanup. Easy. Looking at how small this is, I know the vision device cover is going to be very annoying to deal with. Maybe I'll leave that for next time. Where the hell did I put my glue? Behind the instructions for some reason. I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on. Ha ha ha. That's why some people think they've seen flying saucers. They're flying hatches alien sportsmen use for long throw. Makes sense. I believe you. Just stay in place, please. It's going to be way easier to put the little cover on before gluing that to the hull. I mean, after gluing that to the hull. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not missing any drilling instructions, for once. There doesn't actually seem to be keying. Whoops. For these. Other than on the inside where you would connect the little hinge part. And I think that isn't the right part. I feel like maybe I've done something wrong. If I put the hatch part on. Piss. Ass titties. Ass titties! Okay, so it's meant to be like that. I was thinking that was meant to be more like on the other side. Apparently that's where it goes. Twitch recommends a channel to me and the underline says chess. I wonder how many viewers one could get using a spinning plate with cheese on it. Cheese would be the underline. I mean, I'd probably at least look at it once. I don't know how long just cheese would hold my attention, though. There'd have to be something, some amusing gimmick. Or like, free cheese. Free samples of cheese. Somehow. I could do with some cheese. Maybe... I was gonna say maybe I could get a kebab with halloumi on it, but it's already 10 after 10. And I did eat an entire pizza for lunch and dinner. Because I'm a fat shit. Now that looks incorrect. Did I swap those parts around? Or did I rotate that the wrong way? Man, I'm dumb. That's what it should look like. On both sides. Clav Kalash! I'll have a crab juice. Make sure there's plenty of glue for the glue god. May he forgive me for my sins. Let's try to glue this without getting glue on my finger, which is holding the part in. That's what they want. What are those sticky sins? Ugh. They call me sticky, sinful Herbert. Gross. Now we got a bunch of other doodadery to put onto the whole top. I'm kind of wondering if I should glue the hole down and then put them on or not. The instructions don't say to even put the top of the hole on for a long while, but the problem is there's a risk of damaging parts. Excuse me. If I do need to press down on the hole, I would prefer to do it without extra doodadery getting in the way. It will look better if I do glue it. I wonder if you could put like a little LED in there or something, so that you can see the innards, the internal detail. That wouldn't be realistic, but it would make it less of a waste of the internal parts. Like, I'm definitely going to need to apply pressure, and things will get in the way. I'm also going to paint at least in here before I commit to gluing it together, just to see if, you know, it'll be somewhat visible. If I demount my phone, it is a shame that, like, you won't be able to see it. Even it would make more sense to have it so you can take it apart if there was an engine and, like, fighting compartment detail. You do that if you put it under a good light. Well, not that my phone light is a good light, but you know what I mean. You can see in there a bit. you can't really see those fans. Well, you can a bit. It just needs a lot of light. It makes sense to me to get it all together. Well, not so much all together, but this together, and then put the detail-y bits on the outside. Then we reduce the visibility by putting these on. And then also having to be very careful when spraying the outside. Don't really like the idea of leaving it in separate parts. Especially if I paint the outside when doing that. Because then you've got to make corrections. If I look forward, I can see ahead of me. Blue tack it together, and I don't think that would really work. Like, because there's gaps around there, and it won't fit together properly without some pressure. And then we'll have to think about the front, which, because I haven't put those bits on yet, I don't know if that'll fit properly. If I look at the turret, there's a lot more detail in the turret than anywhere else. So I'm probably going to model hatches on the turret open. Which means I should at least paint inside the fighting compartment a fighting compartment color. Which I'm assuming is like a primer red color. Or white. Or cream or something. It really adds confusion and delay. Parts in a Ziploc bag to keep everything together. I'm not worried about, like, I haven't put detailed parts on there yet, but I'm not really worried about losing the parts. But, it's not gonna... Blue tack isn't going to cut it. I can, probably, attach the front plate to the hull and see how that'll fit. If the instructions would stop flopping open in the way I don't want them to. What am I looking for? D23, which is a internal structural element, I guess. Which I guess I'll glue in before trying to attach the front plate. Which means I need to put this back on the Clippy boy. That's probably where it goes. There's a little bit of side to side there, so I've tried to get it as centered as possible. I don't know how important that is, but it's there and it should give strength to the next bit, to the front bit. And if it doesn't, well, shit. Can probably get away without putting the detail on the front part until it's all together. Have a totally awkward question. Did Barnaby write the Bible? Probably. He probably did. Is there something in there about things going into the incorrect boxes? I haven't read the Bible for a long time. And he went up to Bethel, and as he went along the way, little boys came out of the city and mocked him, saying to him, "Bald head, come up here, bald head, come up here." And he turned, and when he saw them, he cursed them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the forest and tore 42 of the children to pieces. It does sound like something Barnaby would write. That is one of the Bible things I vaguely remember. What the lesson is, I don't know. Don't mock bald people or they'll send bears to get you. Hey, Mitsubishi Pajero, how you doing? Kinda looks to me like that internal bit I just put in doesn't actually make contact with the rest of the hull. Are we supposed to glue it together a different way? It's not too late to rip it out. I'm guessing because there's guide pins on there, that way we're meant to actually do it this way first, which is weird. Does that count as a mistake? I think that counts as a mistake. 45 mistakes! When in doubt, rip it out. Hell yeah. Now let's do it properly. First time. Wouldn't be an Erpaderp video and slash or stream without some mistakes. That doesn't seem to sit flat. Also, when in doubt, glue. That will probably hold it. Let that bond for a bit. 45. Count is pleased. Excuse me. Get rid of those nubbins good and proper. Fuck you, nubbins. I wonder if we're going to be able to get those together before putting the hole together. This is going to work. No problem. Wait, I saw an Herbert Erpaderp video without mistake. I also saw flying pigs drinking beer. Bacon and beer. Make sure there's plenty of glue. Just because that's the sort of thing I do. It's a pretty good fit. Hopefully. It sits nicely on the whole bottom. Yeah, bottom. That's backwards, Herbert. Idiot. Okay, I think they don't get glued together until you're ready to glue the whole thing together. And that would definitely result in me crushing hull top details. You are using too much glue. You are part of the conspiracy of big glue. I am not. Send the glue police to Dragan's house. There's no conspiracies going on here. It is a bit annoying that this has to be separate. I think... Trying to think so I do it in the most efficient way. maybe I stop wasting video memory capacity and stop recording nothing. I think maybe what I do is leave the hole how it is, and then work on the turret. This is me just avoiding some photo etch, most likely. I start working on the turret until that's got enough of the inside together to so that I can paint both hull and turret insides before sticking it all together. I think that'll work. Which means we skip a bunch of instructions probably next time. It's getting late. Which doesn't look like it'll be too hard, because I do want to build the turret with probably all of the hatches open, because there's a lot of good detail in there. And if I'm going to be painting the radiator area, I might as well do the turret. Which probably means there'll be a break in the streams for this build while I do that. I think that'll do for now. That's been an hour and a half. That's a relatively normal length of stream for me. I will probably be back in the morning. I would like to do either a railroader or farming stream. Or maybe, let's move over here where nobody can hear me. Maybe a, what's it called? World's End zombie roleplay stream. Haven't done that for a while, and maybe there'll be people around in morning my time. I will see how I feel tomorrow. All hatches open. You give me a heart attack. I'm sorry. Hopefully you've got reasonable healthcare there. I will be back tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Toodaloo!